closer, time to dance. I count the headlights on the highway. I lay me down in sheets of linen. You had a basic day to day. Whoa, hold me closer, time to dance. I count the headlights on the highway. Whoa, I lay me down in sheets of linen. You had a basic day to day. Whoa,
So, do you mind talking a little bit about the point when you left the Chili Peppers?
No.
Why did you leave the band?
Because, I mean, there's a bunch of reasons. For one thing, like a year before I quit, like, they knew I wanted to quit. And me and Flea once took a drive to a park after the first 2 months of touring the American tour, which I was just miserable on. Like, I broke the band code of not bringing your girlfriend along on tour because I just couldn't do it without her. And I was happy whenever I was on stage and looking at Flea or looking at Chad or looking into my amp and looking at at all the shapes of sound floating around. But I wasn't happy with anything else. So me and Flea took this drive to the park after that tour, and we were sitting there, and he said, is there anything you like about being in the band? And I said, no, there's nothing I like about being in the band at all. And he goes, nothing. And then I said, nothing except for playing with you. I love you. That's why I'm in the band, because I love playing with you. And he was like, oh, well, God, that's no reason to stay in the band if you're not happy. He says that, but then he forgets it. And, and then, like, for a year, I was doing it. And then they're surprised when I quit, when he knew, even back then, that I wanted to quit, But it's just that we were so close to each other, and it's just like his marriage or something, If somebody says they want to break up, you don't keep it in your mind all the time when you're with them. So I enjoyed, Flea, but that's about it. I just, is that enough? Do you need me to say more?
I don't know. You think that's enough?
You have any questions to ask me about it? I mean, I could go into specific things and I could insult people, but
no, we don't. I know, unless you feel like doing that.
No, I've done it enough.
Oh, you are not in public though, have you?
No. This is the first bit of press I've done since I quit the band. Turn around in a circle, slam into my arms. When I joined the band, I couldn't believe that they wanted to be this other thing than they were. Like they didn't think I thought of them as huge stars, but to them they weren't famous yet, and they hadn't made it yet, and they wanted to be as big as Aerosmith or whatever, and I couldn't, that was a shock, yeah. But it didn't bother me. I was happy as hell. But I hoped that we would stay at the level that we were at in popularity.
Mm.
So the real shock came when I found out that this record that we had been recording, this music that me and Flea had just gone nuts over for, a few months, was actually going to be in record stores, and there would be a bunch of people going and buying it and then putting it on and listening to that music that we made. It had never occurred to me, literally, I'm serious. It had never entered my head. It was never a thought that went through my head that said, people are going to buy this and listen to it. A lot of people all over the world. Like when I first said it, I said all over the country, and then I realized, Jesus, all over the world. And I said it to Flea like 5 different ways, and he was going, yeah. And like, I was just like,
Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
it helped that I was totally located in the dimension that the music existed as energy, and not the place that the music existed as words or as a thing to entertain people. I was just really in a heavy place when we recorded the album. Just like I heard ghosts on the whole record, you know.
You mean in a weird place spiritually? Yeah,
it was just a fun place to be. Like I heard ghosts on the whole record, and I'd always say to people when we were playing it for them, when we were recording them, I'd say, "Don't you hear those ghosts? Listen." And Flea would go, "John, not everybody hears them. Just we hear them."
I remember seeing you in Amsterdam once, and you were real lively and up.
Oh, I wasn't happy at all, man.
No?
No, not at all.
Why not?
Because I didn't want to be there doing press at all. I had to leave like half 3/4 of the way into it. I didn't want to go, and Flea was like, "Well, you have to," because normally him and Anthony would have gone, but they made me go with Anthony. And I was just losing my mind. Like, I feel that when you speak about things, you're diarrheaing all over them. You know, you just ruin whatever you're talking about. And I felt like I was diarrheaing all over this art that was really important to me. And I hated being told that I was a rock star. Oh, so I was saying, so Anthony would not, he felt like he couldn't joke around anymore because I was getting so serious because I was so angry about the whole press thing and the whole rock star thing. And then he would have looked like he didn't have any integrity if he would have just spouted off. So it was a really bad combination, you know. And like, he was scared to say anything like he usually did, which was his thing. And so it was just awful.
You mean he was trying to compensate for...
No, he just imitated me.
Oh?
He would just imitate me, so then, you know, because if I say, like, Van Gogh, blah, 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 and then he says, whip out your cock and show it to my mother, like, you know, it doesn't go together.
Ah, I see. No.
Anthony,
Velvet Underground.
1, 2, 3.
If you close the door, the night could last forever. Let the sun shine out and say hello to never. All the people are laughing and they're having such fun. I wish it could happen to me. But if you close the door, I never have to see the day again. I never have to see the day again. Once more, I never have to see the day again.